welcome to Little Gardeners. Hope you'll join us today. Hey everybody, I wanted to share this book called The Mitten Tree. And this book was given to me as a gift by my daughter's preschool teacher. She's now 23 years old, my daughter. But Peggy Walsh, you were always in my thoughts and my heart when I read this book. Thanks so much for the gift, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. It's called The Mitten Tree by Candace Christiansen, and illustrations are by Elaine Greenstein. The Mitten Tree. And see, it says Merry Christmas, love, Miss Peggy. Probably 20 years ago, actually. Here's the first picture. It makes me wonder, who is that when I see this picture? At the end of a long lane in a tidy little house, old Sarah lived alone. Her children had grown up and moved away, but Sarah still remembered the mornings when she walked with them to the blue spruce tree, where they waited for the school bus. Now each morning she opened her shutters and watched for new children to arrive. Every chilly morning, Sarah pulled on her warm coat and started down the lane. And as she walked past the children on her way to the mailbox, she wished they would smile or wave, but they never did. The children didn't even seem to notice her, but still, when she saw them, she couldn't help but smile. One winter morning after the first snow had fallen, all the children were making snowmen and throwing snowballs, all except for one little boy in a blue cap and coat. Even his boots were a dark shade of blue. He stood away from the others with his hands sunk deep in his pockets. And when the school bus arrived, he lingered behind and was last in line. As Sarah watched the little boy climb into the bus, she could see one thing. He had no mittens on. If you've ever been out in the snow without mittens, you realize the cold can actually start to hurt your hands. It's so intense. All that day, Sarah couldn't stop worrying about the little boy with no mittens. Late in the afternoon, as the sky grew dark, Sarah dug through her basket of yarn scraps she had saved for many years. She found her needles and 4 shades of blue wool, and then Sarah began to knit. Sarah worked late into the night, and when the sun began to rise, she hurried to the bus stop and hung the mittens on the old blue spruce tree. And from behind the hedge, Sarah just watched. The little boy was the first to arrive. He saw those mittens and he reached up and tried them on. They fit! And with a big smile, he made a perfect snowball and threw it high into the winter sky. Look at him, matches his coat. That was nice that he was the one to find them, because he was the one that she knit the mittens for, right? Soon a little girl in a red coat arrived. Her mittens didn't match. That night, Sarah knitted with red yarn. And every day now, as Sarah went to the mailbox, she watched for children without mittens. And then she would hurry home and knit. Early in the morning, she would hang the new mittens on the tree. The children loved this game, and each day, they would search under every branch and bough for another pair of mittens. Once or twice, Sarah thought that the boy with the blue mittens had seen her, but he always looked away. Here you can see the boy kind of looking towards us, kind of like, I see you hiding in the bushes. Do you have a pair of mittens too? Maybe you have some in a box for when you go up to the snow. Night after night, Sarah knitted mittens in every color. Some had stripes, some had hearts, some even had little snowflakes all over them. Somehow, even though she had never spoken to the children, Sarah kind of felt like they had become her new family. Here she is with her knitting in her lap, and she kind of dozed off to sleep in her chair. On the last day before winter vacation, Sarah awakened before dawn. She took the empty basket that had once held her yarn and she filled it to the brim with mittens. Out the door and down the steps she headed, and when she got to the blue spruce tree, she hung the mittens on every branch. Look at this basket. Look at all the beautiful colors and textures and designs. She's been busy. The kids are gonna have fun when they see those the next day. The boy with the blue mittens was the first to arrive. He stood very still and just waited for the others. In fact, all the children stood very still for a few minutes, just looking at the mysterious, beautiful mitten tree. Look at this. It's almost like they're hanging from the tree like ornaments, right? Except they're not just for, you know, it's not just beautiful to look at. They're meant to keep the kids warm. When they boarded the bus, each child now wore a pair of mittens. Sarah watched as, one by one, their faces appeared in the bus windows. Still, no one looked her way as she started home. Look at the kids, they're so excited about their new mittens. But Sarah's heart was full. It was as full as when the sounds of her own children had filled her house. Here she is walking home. And look at the tree has no more mittens. All the kids took them off and they're wearing them now. That's what you wanted. And as Sarah neared her porch and climbed the steps, she saw something waiting for her. There in the corner was a basket woven with thick brown vines and decorated with a large white bow. And in it were balls and balls of beautiful, colorful yarn. Somebody knows it's her. It's not a mystery to one of those kids. And to this day, Sarah knits mittens for all the children in her town, and every time her basket is empty, a new full one appears. Sarah doesn't know who the yarn is from, and the children still don't know who the mittens are from, but someone must. The girls and I, when they were little, we used to look at those mittens because that's the person who's leaving the yarn in the basket, right? That's the person who knows. But we looked through all the pages trying to find the mittens with the heart to see if any of the kids are wearing them, and we couldn't figure it out. It's still a mystery to us too. There is the last page. She's working on some new ones. Can you tell what color those are going to be? Those are green, aren't they? And you know what's funny is that I grabbed these mittens on the way out the door because a friend of mine named Kim knits these beautiful mittens, and whenever she comes into the shop, I always told her how much I love them, and she was telling me how to make them. I was taking notes on how to make them, and she came in one day with a box, and it was a pair of mittens for me. So I'm thinking of you, Kim, when I wear these. Thank you. Did you like that book as much as I do? I hope you did. That's called The Mitten Tree.